Hello, beautiful people, and welcome back to the Divine Union podcast. And if it's your first time joining us, welcome. It's gonna be a good episode because today we are discussing 4 reasons why your relationship is out of sync. This is going to give you some amazing insights, amazing nuggets. If you're feeling out of sync, you're not feeling the levels of intimacy you desire, you're not feeling the passion that you desire. This is going to help you identify what could be the causes of that. Now, of course, there can be many reasons. So I want to just name, it's not accounting for every single reason of what could be happening, right? It could be a relationship that's toxic, all the things, lack of respect, right? There's so many areas that impact relationships being out of sync. But the way I want you to think about it is healthy dynamics. A relationship that's generally feeling good for you, where you don't feel is abusive or toxic, why it could be out of sync. All right, let's get into it. Number 1, if you're heavy in your masculine, it's going to feel out of sync. You're not going to feel connected to your partner. You're not going to feel as much desire for your partner. You're not going to feel like you can actually receive and surrender, like they're stepping up in the ways that you're showing up in the relationship. You might feel like you're leading the direction of the intimacy, like you're doing all of the things. And it feels out of sync because when you're in that masculine role, you're not as connected to your sensuality, your feminine, your softness, your state of being, your state of reflection, right? That joy. You feel so heavy. And so that's going to create a disconnect in your relationship. What else with that? It's not going to feel as sync sexually either. Because if you're more in the masculine, if you're more of even a performer energy, which is unhealthy masculine, and I know this, I've been there, by the way, so it's never judgments here. But if you're like heavier in that energy, it's going to feel out of sync. You're not going to feel your partner's desire for you as much. You're going to desire to be ravished, deeply desire to feel their hunger for you, and you're not going to actually feel it because you're heavier in the masculine and you don't know how to incite that masculine primal energy from them. Maybe they can't access it. It's both, but you can, it's a skill. I teach it how to incite that energy in another. So you're going to feel out of sync sexually. You're not going to feel as attracted to them. Now, if you're heavier in the feminine, yeah, and I speak to you, I'm speaking to the person listening. Yeah. So, because like you can cut the pie many ways, but if you're heavier in the feminine, it's going to feel out of sync. You're not going to feel as emotionally connected to your partner if they're more in their masculine. I'll speak to the other dynamics in a moment. It's going to feel out of sync with the intimacy. You're going to have a hard time connecting to them. You're going to have a hard time feeling their heart. You're not going to feel fully expressed. You're not going to feel fully fulfilled. And there's a disconnect in the relationship in that regard. You might be acting out. Maybe you demand your needs. Maybe you toggle between demanding your needs and minimizing your needs. It's still going to create this lack of harmony in a relationship that is essential to deepen in intimacy. You also feel out of sync with the passion because if they're heavier and they're masculine, maybe they're initiating or they're more aggressive or they're not sensitive to the energy of feminine energy. Right? They're going to move too quickly. They're going to not take their time. You probably won't express it because you may not know how to express what you desire. So you're going to feel a disconnect in the relationship. The third reason your relationship is out of sync, this is when both parties are in the feminine. This is when both parties are in people pleaser energy. I don't know. What do you want to do? What do you want to do for dinner? I don't know. What do you want to do? I don't care. Neither makes a decision. Neither's in their masculine. And that also creates uncertainty for the relationship, instability. You don't know where the direction of the relationship is going because no one's actively leading the intimacy. A healthy dynamic, you take turns. There's balance. It's always balance. So if both parties are in the fem, right, it's that people pleaser energy. Or if both parties are in the That you can even liken it to in the connection, right? The feminine seeks connection, the masculine seeks freedom. So if both are in the fem, then it creates that people pleaser. And then no one's asserting their needs, their desires. No one's creating friction, tension, conflict in the relationship, healthy conflict. Conflict is an amazing thing. It's an amazing tool to reinvigorate intimacy, passion, when you can use it in ways that enliven the relationship and not damage it. So if both parties are in the fem, you're going to feel out of sync. You're going to feel more like roommates than lovers, right? That good old dynamic, not that good old, that dreaded dynamic of roommates over lovers. Shit. How do we reinvigorate that passion from those initial days of meeting? When you can actually fix it by working with your masculine and feminine energetics. That's why I do this work. Because it works. You don't have to go from one relationship to the next. No, it doesn't mean that you can't reinvigorate the passion. No, it's not a product of you being in a long-term partnership. No, it's learning how to work with your masculine and feminine energies. Let's be real here. It's in your control. I'm feisty today. Can you feel it? Little Shih Tzu energy. I don't really love Shih Tzus, but I'm feeling it today, I think, with this bun in my head. Okay, both parties in the fem. Both parties in the masculine. It's going to feel out of sync. If you're both heavy in masculine energy, if you're both, let's say, creating together, you have a business together, right? You're both in doer mode and no one's sinking into being. It's going to feel out of sync. It's going to feel like a lot of tension. You're going to butt heads all the time. Conflict's going to feel heavy. Intimacy is going to feel heavy. You're not going to find ways to lighten the mood because you're both heavy in the masculine. What is this on my screen? What else with that? Yeah, you're both in doer mode. No one's receiving. It's going to feel out of sync. You're going to lose touch of that sense of desire and that lightness, right? Both parties need lightness. And if no one's bringing the lightness and both parties are heavy, the relationship is going to feel heavy. The intimacy won't deepen as a result. That can also look like if both parties are in the masculine, one's hyper masculine, one's in unhealthy masculine energy of control. I'm going to control the direction of the relationship. I'm going to control you. I'm going to demand my needs be met, right? You're going to be out of sync in that way too. You're going to be always at war, at odds. It's going to feel more like a competition than a collaboration. And this is why it always comes back to the energies. This is why I do this work. This is why I can't help but preach, baby, about masculine and feminine energetics. All my programs are focused around helping you integrate your masculine and feminine energies, whether it's in my couples program, my one-on-one work, or Inner Union, my new group coaching program that begins October 1. It's all around different processes, tools, practices to help you integrate your masculine and feminine energies within, bring more balance within so that you can cultivate more fulfilling, balanced relationship dynamics. It doesn't matter if you're in a relationship and you want to shift the dynamics. If you're single and you want to call in the relationship you desire, this work is for anyone who wants to work with relational dynamics. It also doesn't matter whether it's relationship, friendship, familia. Balance is essential for amazing, fulfilling relationships, all of your relationships. It's going to help you in your life in so many areas. I love this work with the balance. When I had this one, I haven't ever spoke about this, but I had this one incredible psychedelic experience where I tried Bufo. Bufo is intense. It's like one of the strongest medicines where you really like pop off. You have this experience for like a total of 15 minutes. It's short. And when I did Bufo and I took it, first I was orgasmic. I was seeing the most beautiful colors I've ever seen. Like pops of colors, like straight out of Lisa Frank, these like magenta pink and purple and yellows and blues. And the colors were so beautiful. I was like orgasming from the colors. And like there were clowns spinning around. It was like this theatrical circus vibe, which I actually heard Bufo can be that way. So I was like, okay, that makes a lot of sense. Sacred geometry going in and out, and everything was so beautiful. My body was responding in waves of pleasure. Where am I going with this shit? I'm like losing the nugget here. Yes. And as I was entering into my Bufo experience, and a sister of mine in Guatemala, her name is Shannon, by the way, she delivered it for me. She's an incredible facilitator. And give her a little shout out, yeah. And she facilitates mushroom journeys, but she did this Bufo journey for me. It was so beautiful, giving me the medicine, getting to like see her deliver it and then feeling it in my body. And as I was starting to feel the medicine, as I was like getting ready to lean back, I saw two koi fish. And koi fish, two of them, right? It was like the yin and yang. They symbolize balance. Koi also symbolize like determination, right? They swim upstream. They have a lot of determination. They're amazing, powerful fish, but they symbolize balance. And balance is like it's in my blood. This is my dharma. This is my work. It was like a beautiful synchronicity conversation with the universe of like, you're on the right path. When I did this like 4 years ago. And I'm fascinated with balance because it all comes down to the balance, the yin and yang, the masculine and feminine. And when we empower ourselves and do the work to bring inner union within our being, that's how we're able to achieve outer union in relationship. It's the inner union that fuels the outer union, fuels the divine union. I have a free balance assessment I created where you can take it and you'll have more insight into where you're off balance in your life, which will be really, really powerful. Should you want to see what areas I need to bring more balance. And it also has areas of the relationship as well. So it'll give you some insights and what areas you need to hone based on that. And inner union, baby. If you're listening to this as the day it launches, which I'm guessing many of you will be, we begin October 1. So it's your last chance to get in for this amazing program. I run it once a year. And it's all around how do you deeply bring inner union to your being so that you can create incredible, fulfilling relationships. And we go through a whole flow around expansion for intimacy, healing and balancing of your masculine and feminine, and then working with your communication and your energetics. So it's a full body mind rewiring of bringing yourself into deeper wholeness, deeper sense of sovereignty so that you can have incredible relationships. So it's all in the show notes, the link to my website where you can play with the application, learn more about the program. And then I also do one-on-one work with individuals for if you want a highly collaborative, co-creative container, where you want to also bring your agenda to the mix and then learn my tools, my skills, my medicine based on what's alive and present for you. That's for you. And then I have an amazing couples program as well for couples who want to go on a journey together. So it's been such a pleasure. Today we talked about 4 reasons your relationship's out of sync. So I gave you the lens of when you're too far in your masculine, how that contributes to lack of intimacy, lack of passion. That's number 1. Number 2 is when you're too far in your feminine. The roles are reversed. How that creates lack of harmony in the relationship. The third reason is when both parties are heavy in their fem and they don't create that polarity. There's instability in the relationship. Everyone's unclear, unsure, lack of direction. When both parties are in the masculine and no one's able to surrender and both parties are heavy in doer mode, not being mode, and how that creates lack of sync within the dynamics, lack of harmony in the dynamics, more conflict, more tension, more competition over collaboration energy, and how you can bring that back is by working to bring more balance to your energies. I'll also be creating an online course on this too, so plenty more to come if you want to learn all about the energies. And it's been such a pleasure. If you found this episode valuable, I would love to hear what nuggets were most valuable, most insightful in the comments if you're watching the YouTube version and in the reviews for the Apple podcast. It really it lights me up to read the reviews, to hear the impacts that it had, what nuggets you came out with, what insights of your own insights came out from listening to this transmission. Yeah, selfishly, it brings me so much joy to read the comments and share it with a friend, share it with someone whom you feel would gain value from this episode. So I love you. I love you. I love you. Te amo, te amo, te amo mucho, beautiful people. And I look forward to seeing you next week. And until then, may all your unions be divine.